tonight's call. Glad you're on. Let's see if I can see the chat and see if I can catch up with the good folks that are out here in internet land. I guess we're broadcasting on Facebook as well as on YouTube. So I'm thankful you're here. I'm glad to be here. Here is right now I'm in Virginia Beach. I'm visiting. We just dropped off my brother a couple days ago, and staying in the local town center of Virginia Beach. It's a lovely area. We're not on the water. We're more what they call town center. And here with my wife, we're on our way to Florida. Gonna hook up with some clients down there. And again, this time is we're not on vacation. There's a change of venue. That's how I call it. So I'm still working. We just bring the office with us and do paperwork and things like that for the clients, and do a lot of phone calls, things like that. But it's not overly warm here. It wasn't so bad today. It was just all right. Still need jacket weather and all, but we're looking to get south and be in some very warm weather. Certainly by Friday, we should be down in Florida. So looking forward to that. And we'll be there for the month of March. And, we got people back home holding down the fort. That's a good thing. Thankful for my son, Michael, who's producing tonight's broadcast. And he's a workhorse, gets a lot done. And he's back there in New Hampshire, praying for it to warm up. The snow melts and all that. So that's a cool thing. So I'm glad to be on tonight's call and just to talk a little bit about, I see that's interesting. No, so Brad is trying to get into the call, but yeah, we won't be, not going to be bringing him in as a guest. So he'll have to click on the links and all that. So. But anyway, we're going to answer your questions, and we'll talk a little bit about some things coming up. Michael and I will be traveling to Liberland for their 10th anniversary. I'm trusting that I'll be speaking at their conference, and that should be a good time. So that's coming along. You can check out Liberland. If you've never been a part of a new country, freedom-based country, then Liberland might be something you may check out and be interested in. I'm interested. I'm just to be a part of something that. Yeah, let's lose Sam. All right. Yeah, Sam's got to go. Sam's a troll. It's like, yeah, where's Alma when you need him to? So anyway, that's kind of interesting. But yeah, let's see how if I have a way. That's fine. Anyway, so we'll just remove his comments there. But so we're looking forward to that, and then we're going to plan for the Pork Fest, and we're also, one of the things we're working on this month is we're looking to plan for the summer and do a talk there at Pork Fest as well. So hopefully that'll all work out, and we'll get those things all straightened out. So it's really exciting, and we'll make our way back to New Hampshire and just keep on serving people. We had a great time at the Acapulco, and that was a good time. And we've gotten a lot of good responses. We had a class at Acapulco, and that was well attended. I think we had about 11 people, and so it was a nice class. That was pretty much on the fly. I do my talk, and then people came and wanted to be a part of that. So that was a good time, and that'll be excellent. Oh, that's interesting. Thanks for calling. Give a little lead time before I start talking. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll have to figure out that. We'll check that at the beginning of our video to make sure that we don't have anything cut off there. There's usually a countdown, and I usually give it a space there, but we'll see. We're still trying to work out these technical uh, things that we're working on. But thanks for being on tonight, Lucy. Appreciate you. And so tonight I wanted to talk a little bit about just some of the current events, things that are going on. You can see if people are on social media that people are talking about certainly what's going on in D.C. and with the Trumpster and all that. I'm I mean the lines between liberals and conservatives or the Democrats and Republicans are always the same. Um, I'm just astonished that as the government that's growing exponentially is out of control, out of money, and doesn't manage money very well, that people are crying when someone comes in and starts to cut waste. And Trump, it's just astonishing, the hypocrisy of the left. Whatever people Trump's letting go or whatever, Clinton's and other presidents have fired and let people go. It's just crazy, but it's going to play out, and people are going to. Yeah, I don't have much confidence that the swamp's going to clean itself. But anytime Trump is decentralizing, giving responsibility back to the states, and is cutting budgets or letting people go, that's always good. That's never not good. It's always good. So we'll see how that goes long term. We were just getting started, and I don't vote for people to go to D.C. I'm all done with the union. New Hampshire's my country, and that's enough. We have our own tyranny there, and I love how engaging New Hampshire is. And I'm away in my town. There's going to be a vote coming up in this month, and I need to get an absentee ballot so that I can vote for selectmen and some of the warrant articles that are coming up. So it's great to know the people in my town, and it's so small you can really be engaging. So I highly recommend freedom-minded people participate in their local politics, because the most important government um, that you should have control over is your local government. Every government that's further away from you should have less and less power. The most powerful government should be your local government, and it should be impotent. But the purpose of government is only to secure rights and nothing else. So the county should be weaker than your town, and the state should be weaker than your county, and the federal government should be little to no power if they would just be limited to the Constitution without Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17. That would be good. So I want to get into, because I got a number of questions. I wanted to get doing some Q&A and see if I can answer some questions. If you have questions in the live chat, that's, yeah, so is my volume still low? Let's see here. It should, I don't know. That's, maybe it's just me. Maybe I have to just shout or crank up your my volume. I got it up all the way. So sorry for the low tones. I decided to do a headset just because we felt that the mic wasn't very loud. And maybe we're gonna have to come up with something better for the sound of this, because I keep hearing that people are not really happy with the volume. So we'll work on that at some point. I can see it registering on the meter here, but we'll all trust for you to work that out. All right, here's some questions. Here's a question from, and again, if you want to ask some questions in the chat, that's fine. Isn't politics just a show? Well, yes and no. The um, the thing about politics is, if you don't participate in politics, politics is power. There's political power. It's a reality. Okay. And yes, politics are used to, um, to obfuscate or, to distract and things like that. But the thing about it is that there's only one issue always in any situation going on. Since the only purpose of government is to secure rights, every bill, everything should be geared towards securing rights. If it's not, then it's expanding government and it should be shut down and ended. So if someone has the conviction to uh, to serve the people and not to give them things, not to give them privileges and immunities, but to just secure rights, then that would be enough. And so politics, it depends on how you're defining that. The political banter back and forth as if these guys are enemies, they're not. That's a show. But to talk about political matters in that capacity, no, that's serious business, and you should definitely be engaging in your community and the people around you. If you're freedom minded, you should be talking and sharing with people concepts and precepts of freedom, liberty, and freedom. That's the only matter. Okay. And if people don't know the difference between rights and privileges, then they're going to be governed by their inferiors. Welcome, John from Connecticut. Glad to see you on. And so, yeah. So anyway, let's get to some of these questions. And someone's asking, this is James, is the state citizenship class broken up into a few sessions? Online, there's a 6-hour class or so. And on here he says, you've stated 6 to 7 hours, but it starts at 7 p.m. No, there's a recorded class online that can start whenever you like. There's no time for that. These calls start at 7, but these aren't 6 and 7 hours. So the class is 385. What is the complete cost of the charge over for the state citizenship with driver's license? 385 is just the foundational state citizenship class. If you sign up for the passport process and become a client, either the full process that we do your paperwork, or you can do the passport workshop. Um, Both those passport processes include the alignment workshops, which would deal with driver's license, um, jury selection, any type of application and such. Also includes your W-8 and W-9. That's on the website. That class or workshop is included. And then we have an IRS 1445 workshop that deals with real estate transactions, which is a real common thing. Between the W-8 and W-9, the alignment workshop, and the um, IRS 1445 workshop, those together give you all the tools and resources so that you can function financially. Um, and so those are all part of what comes with your passport process. And so that's what those charges are. You're not a client if you take the class. The class has no paperwork with it. That's why we call it a class. The other workshops have paperwork. They're literally a workshop. So that's what it is. Someone says higher cost with your help filing, lower cost. That's right. Thanks for your time. I'm quite interested when you get a chance. I know you're at the conference. Yeah, we were at Dollar Vigilante. That's cool. Yeah, so if you need me to talk about your specific stuff, um, you can either come on these calls and ask your questions. I'll be glad to answer them. Or if you want to buy an hour, I think 450 for an hour. You can set up, and I'll be glad to talk with you about all your stuff. Um, and and if we need to make a quick call, I'm glad to do that if you need to. So you can do that at write to state citizen at destinationfreedom.org. And John says he has arrears that have absconded with his passport. That sounds like the IRS. He's got more than $50,000 worth of what the IRS says he owes, and so they many times will block or limit your passport. Can't even get one with this method at all. or do I have to get those arrears lifted first? Well, you definitely have to deal with IRS first, whether you're paying them or that you get them to change that communication with the State Department. That will be necessary in order for the State Department to issue passport. This person says, I also have been going under the last name, blah, blah, since 74. Um, when in actual, my legal name in my birth certificate is it here. It says, also like an issue, to be an issue, get a passport. So name changes are, they're going to go with what's on your birth certificate. If you have a name change, a proper name change, then you would have to have a court uh, document for that. Otherwise, your name might be just an alias, but you'll have to do what's on the passport. Yeah, so hopefully, John, you can reach out and we can set up a call or talk about the specifics of your stuff. Then someone says, this is Peter, and he's a friend of another client, Kevin. Kevin is a client who's a pilot for Saudi Air. He says he met Kevin in 2009 during a flight training in Saudi Arabian Airlines. That's cool. So anyway, so he talked about doing these processes as well. And he says that he's working, he's probably a pilot for UPS. And he says, um, I'm sure he's going to be wanting to know if he can do the process. As an employee, um, he'll need to change that. We don't recommend, or I would say nobody's going to take a tax stand while being employed for a corporation. If you contract with the corporation, then you can if you're responsible for your own taxes, if any. So, so that's definitely going to have to change. This particular client, Kevin, contracts with Saudi Air, and that's how they do that. So, um, this person says they intend to relocate as a similar instructor for Airbus. And so if he contracts, then yes, he can do that. Um, so let's see if this person, um, that was Peter. So here's Rhonda. Rhonda says, hi, Mr. Gronsky, we purchased, if we purchased a passport workshop, is a discharge of credit card included with that? Or do we have to pay extra for a fee for that? Yeah, the passport workshop is not the same as the debt discharge workshop. The debt discharge workshop is 1,776 for that. It comes with all the paperwork and such as that. But the passport workshop is 1,660, and the debt discharge workshop is 1,776. So that's it. So let's see what else. Then John's from Connecticut says, the volume's low and all that. It says, was the Bill of Rights state citizen rights? Well, yeah, I understand what you're talking about, the Bill of Rights, but it should have been the Bill of Government Limitations. But the Bill of Rights is part of the Constitution that limits the federal government and protects the state citizens. That's correct. The federal citizens are citizens subject to the jurisdiction thereof, and they are in the District of Columbia as that type of citizen. And so therefore that citizen is taxed and regulated worldwide. And that is controlled or regulated by Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 and 18. But 17, that exclusive legislative authority the federal government has in their jurisdiction. So the Bill of Rights doesn't protect them. And one of the ways you can tell is the Fifth Amendment talks about due process. And so the 14th Amendment also has it limits the states to not violate the privileges and immunities of the 14th Amendment citizen, the U.S. citizen. And so it says that it offers equal protections and such as that. That's not the same. If the Fifth Amendment protected those federal citizens, they wouldn't have had to write that, but that's not the case, because in that jurisdiction, the Congress or the federal government has exclusive legislative authority in all cases whatsoever. So they're not limited by the Constitution. That is the Constitution. So anyway, yes. So the Bill of Rights protects the state citizens. Let's go on. It says, and we have a question from Jeff. And I talked to Jeff earlier today. He had received a jury summons, and so as he begins his passport process, he's going to have access to the alignment workshop, and we deal with that there. In the jury applications, they typically ask, "Are you a United States citizen?" So in order to answer that question, you can't just say no or can't say yes, because as I've said many times, I am a United States citizen and I'm not a United States citizen. Both those are true. I am a citizen of the United States because I'm a citizen of New Hampshire, and then loosely called a United States citizen. But the federal government defines U.S. citizen by the 14th Amendment. That's not the same as a citizen of my state, where I have my habitation and domicile. So anyway, so he's doing that. He's going to have to ask the court, what is the definition of the term United States when asked, are you a United States citizen? And he says, does this affect what's doing with the passport? No, we recommend just moving forward with that. And then he says, um, would going to this jury summons negatively affect what I'm doing with you guys and trying to become non-U.S. citizen? That's another thing that's interesting. I don't use that term, a non-U.S. citizen. Okay. So it's just you're a U.S. citizen or you're not. Or if you're not a U.S. citizen, you're alien, but it's not a non-U.S. citizen. People sometimes confuse that with on the application. It says uh, a citizen of the United States or a non-citizen national, which is someone who's born in America, Samoa, or Swains Island. And if you're not born in those locations, you're not a non-citizen national. And then it says, it's a new client. Okay, there's some specifics here. All right, and then this person's also dealing with IRS, and we're going to help him ferret that out too. That'll be good. So, so we'll end up having a call about that and seeing if we can do some paperwork for them. Then here's something from looks like a Garby. It says, hope this email finds you well. My name is Garby. He's based in Tanzania. Let's see here. I'm reaching out to seek your expertise in simplifying the tax and accounting procedures relative to my situation, which I don't know what is. I would also appreciate any book recommendation that may help me understand tax and accounting. I've seen this before. This is not someone who's really asking this. Additionally, I'd like to inquire about the possibility of a paid consultation to discuss my needs in more detail. Let me know your availability. We'll have to see if that's anyway. I'll have to see how we're following up with that. And then, hello, Mr. Gronsky. Let's see what else we have here. It says, hope you enjoyed your trip to Acapulco. I unfortunately never been, and it's been on my radar for years. I'm reaching out. Reaching out is to begin the process of getting private freedom consultation, as well as more info on the Freedom Business Development Assistance. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, one of the things that we're developing is two things. One, we're going to do an IRS class so that clients can do their own IRS paperwork. That's one. And the other thing that we're going to also do, and that is a class, a short class or a talk or some support to help people that are employed move out of employment to contracting with the company or just developing their own business. So that, and then the other one is an informational video or a workshop that helps people who have businesses, like corporations and all, and how to shut down those corporations down and get back into the private. All corporations are public. There's no such thing as a private corporation, okay? Because you have your business that might have been private, but the moment that you get a tax ID number or you incorporate, that's the idea of incorporation, it's now governmental because they're asking the government for privileges and immunities, and therefore the government taxes and regulates your business. If you don't want to be taxed and regulated by the government, don't form a corporation. All corporations, big and small, are born out of irresponsibility. because they're looking to the government to give them privileges and immunities. And that's not the purpose of government. Purpose of government is to secure rights. No one has a right to incorporate. That's a privilege. So it's really kind of funky. So we don't recommend it. You bring yourself into the private, you'll have more freedom. There's another client question that says, "Hi, Christopher. I talked to you several months ago about receiving my passport. I have already gone through the steps of sending my passport application through New Hampshire and receiving the FOIA information explanatory statement. How do I go about renewing my passport?" Oh, yeah. We don't have renewal support on the website. For a small fee, we end up doing those up for clients. But yeah, once you've done the passport process and you don't have to correct the previous application, then your new DS-82 can be filled out and mailed into the mail. You send in your old passport, and then they'll give you a new one. We've been doing passport renewals since, oh, I don't know, um, since I think about 2014 or so. Yeah, because we've been doing this stuff since like 2004. Yeah, so 10 years, some people have done renewals. I've renewed mine twice now. Then Fran says, on last night's call on YouTube, a Florida specific driver's license alignment letter was mentioned by someone named John. Yeah, we were talking about that last night on the call. Um, we'd have to locate who that person was in order to determine if we have paperwork that we can help support them. But all those same documents are in the alignment workshop, even though they're not specific to Florida. But some of the states that we've done for clients and we've done the paperwork, then we have those templates in them. And so anytime that we're helping a client, whether from Texas or New Jersey or somewhere else, we have that paperwork and we can turn that stuff around pretty quick. So, all right. So that's some of the questions. I want to just see if there's any other questions. Those are the ones that were emailed to us. And let's see if we got here's someone called Homeschool. Someone says, thank you. It seems the citizens referred to in 1865 are all deceased. No, um, the first U.S. citizens were the blacks that were freed from the South. It was a kindler, gentler tyrant that the federal government extended a citizenship subject to the jurisdiction thereof. So they were the first U.S. citizens, if you will. And then eventually they started just blending and inviting all the people into that type of a citizenship. And they didn't know that there were already state citizens based in habitation domicile. So people would sign up for the federal citizen without realizing it. So let's see here. We have another one. Here's um, sorry that the volume is low. We just, I don't know why. It just is maybe this platform. We'll have to see if we can resolve that issue, Michael. So Grounded says, oh, that's me, John. Huh, I missed the call last night. Oh, so maybe that's Grounded. Maybe he's from Florida. I don't know. There you go. So I'm not sure who that is, but we got some side talking. It's all good. So yeah, so that's some of the things that are coming up. We have one of the things I'm looking forward to, and it's been long in coming, is we're going to update the website. It's going to have a new look and all, and I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be some work that we're doing here in the month of March, and so there's that. And I'm praying that we look forward to that, and that we can. We can enjoy a smoother transition or a website that actually moves people into our classes and all that. That'll be excellent. So, all right. Let's see if we have anything else. Did I miss any? Sometimes people are crazy. Let's see here. All right. Let's see. So, Michael, you have any comments or anything that I'm missing or not? We're We're only halfway, 30 minutes into the broadcast. We really cut through. When I'm talking to clients on the phone and they're working out some of the logistics, you know, people think that, oh, here we go. Um, Alan says he's half deaf from chainsaws and black Sabbath. Um, well, you're too kind, Alan. I appreciate your sentiment. That's, he's a working class dog. If he's running chainsaws, that's cool. And of course, Black Sabbath. You can only listen to Black Sabbath on 10. That's how you have to enjoy that. Nowadays, they have these headsets that don't allow you to increase the volume because it's worse than losing your hearing? Having an attorney sue you. That's what's worse than losing your hearing. So unfortunate. How many of those good headphones that we all wore in the 70s and enjoyed that great music? But that's uh, that's part of it. It's just part of enjoying it. You want that you are there effect. Um, so we're looking forward to some of these new classes. I've been talking about that for a while, but the days keep flying by, and we just hold our own. I did want to mention, I went out to, I guess it was last November or so, had gone out in Southern California to meet with a company, and I did the class for about 12 people in their business. They have one of the largest cannabis farms in Southern California, and they're interested in pulling their company out of the federal zone and all that. And so I'm looking forward to helping that company move in a direction where they can save all the money they pay in taxes. But anyway, one of the things, the questions that comes up for people, especially in my classes and whatnot, is the concept of the word includes. It's a big deal. I'll tell you one of the there's a website called Supreme Law dot. I want to say I don't remember if it's .org or .com. It might be supremelaw.com, but it's Paul Mitchell's work, and there's a document that he wrote, a book that he wrote called The Federal Zone. That's probably one of the best writings on the state citizen and the two citizens, in the United States and all that. It's really well written, and so I highly recommend that. We have that point. We show that in the class, and want people to go and check out that website. And but anyway, where was I going with that? About I was thinking of Paul Mitchell, um, but what was I going with that about the clients? Hmm, space it. Gone just like that. See, my mind's like a steel trap. Nothing in, nothing out. Anyway, that's a good word. Anyway, is one of the best writings on state and federal citizen is the federal zone. That is an excellent read. So that's worth it. I was trying to remember the point I was going to get to when I mentioned Paul Mitchell. Um, but anyway, so one of the things that we want to encourage people to do um, is really to embrace this lifestyle, and it's not difficult, but um, you I would hope that you're willing to do some paperwork. I mean, look at all the paperwork you have to do with being in the federal zone. This is just really straightening out the record that you had set up already and just making some of these changes. And a lot of people will just want to make all these changes right away within the first year, and that's fine. But then some people just wait for these IDs to come up, and then they change them as they go. Either way is fine, and it should not be a nail biter or a difficult thing. One of the things that we promise with respect to our clients and this kind of work is that it's a peaceful work, and that it's not a rebel stand against anything or anybody or the government. And the amazing position that you're in, once you understand who has an income tax liability, is that you end up agreeing with the federal government and how they're implementing the, their taxing and regulating. So, so really, this process is uh, not one that you have to be all nervous about. It is a peaceful process because everything we do, we bring into the light, and that we're always telling the truth because many of these documents you're filling out under penalty of perjury. So we have our clients, and as we do the passport process, one of the things we do is we we prepare people's documents for them, and then we talk about taking them to the post office to submit them. And so we have all kinds of paperwork support for that. But most of the time, people, this is one of the first places that they're dealing with bureaucracy and handing in paperwork. Okay. I remember the first time I did my passport, I didn't want to mail it in. I wanted to get closer to when I was traveling so that I could actually go to the passport agency. Be, that way I could explain the difference I was doing and all that. So I remember driving down to Boston from New Hampshire and having all my paperwork, and I was nervous and excited. And oh, thank you for that about the including. That's very good. All right, I'll come back to it. Oh, you're good. Anyway, um, so going down to Boston, I remember giving my paperwork that saying I was doing the application as a state citizen. She looked at it and said, "Well, I can't say this is the first time I've ever seen this." Boom, boom, stamped all the things. I was moving along, got my passport. It was just the best. And I was like, wow, that was exciting that she had seen that kind of paperwork before and they still issued passport. But it wasn't until I was at the Browns trial where we were talking about doing different passports that I realized that the IRS was using passport applications against people establishing their federal citizenship because that's what they're signing off on. That we were or that we could use also those same documents in court if we needed to, establishing that we were not a 14th Amendment citizen, that we were a citizen of our states. And so that's why we started getting certified copies of the passport file signed by the Secretary of the United States. That's wedding signature. And they sign certified documents. They're sealed and they're riveted and all that. So they're able to be used in court. We've never had a client have to use them in court, but we have them and we're prepared for that. So I was getting into the idea of the word includes, including. Yes, I was talking about the class we were doing um, in Southern California. Well, Paul Mitchell in the Federal Zone writes, he has a whole chapter on the words includes and including. And it's excellent because I handle that material in the state citizenship class. And so some people are just uncomfortable that they actually have the capacity to um, think and reason and make these decisions for themselves. But including in the tax code is a word of limitation, not a word of expansion. And so we show evidence from legal, the legal people, the Congressional Law Office that deals with these definitions and terms, and we have evidence of that and how they define these terms, including as a term of limitation. When you read includes in the tax code, you can add the word only, includes only, blah, 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 and then it reads that. But again, if you take the state citizenship class, you'll see that we handle that. That's an important distinction to understand. So that being said, when I did this class in Southern California, some of the principals of the company were concerned about that definition and whether that was going to be, they were uncomfortable that they were thinking that it includes that, even though it says includes the District of Columbia, the states and District of Columbia in a particular place in the tax code. We decided that we would ask or consider asking the IRS to answer the question as in that particular definition, is California in that definition? So they got their attorney to reach out to the IRS to ask the question about this definition. Did it include California? The IRS said that if we answer that question, we're going to audit you. It's like, wow. Oh no, don't answer my question because I don't want to be audited. No, they're already in a $20 million audit. So they're like, not a problem. We're already being audited. And then they said, came back and said, then it's going to cost you $8,000 for us to answer your question. Like, okay, no problem. Here's 8 grand. You know, not a big deal. So they got that there. So I reached out to him recently and said, have we heard from the IRS? This is since November. And he said, no, they haven't responded yet. An answer to a question that they've paid for. So we're looking forward to it. I don't understand why they wouldn't just quickly come back and say, this is that, and that's the end. So it's a very relevant question with respect to understanding definitions and the jurisdiction, the limited jurisdiction of the federal government. So anyway, that's what including, and we do cover that in the state citizenship class. So if you're wondering, that's very exciting. And the section of the tax code that we see that in is section 7701. That's Title 26, section 7701 has definition of terms, and that's quite exciting. So anyway, I wanted to mention that and how we're working with our clients and making sure that our clients are outside the federal zone. Well, I appreciate everybody that's been on, and I'm not sure if we'll do a call next week. I will be down in Florida at that time. We may be doing a class, but then again, we may set up a unique kind of broadcast. It'll be cool if we could do a broadcast like at some kind of outdoor venue. That'd be kind of cool if we can get a good Wi-Fi signal or something. So right now we're just in the hotel, right? And so I thank you all for being on. And listen, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do. Then that way you'll get notifications of when we're doing live videos like this. And if you're on Facebook, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, and we'll post material and such as that. And hope you enjoy it. And what else? I think that's good for now. And yeah, so I'm Christopher Gronsky. This is Destination Freedom, and I'm glad you're here. And oh, wait, it's Indiana Jones. No, Indiana James. It's a question right before he grabs his hat. He's got to grab his hat. How difficult is the DS11 in New York? Seems like they want to make the process difficult. Now, if we've done the passport process all over New York. If you're talking about the New York Passport Agency, you're going to have to be able to hold your own if you're going to go to any passport agency. But doing it at a post office in New York is no different than doing anywhere else. So it's not that difficult. So now Detroit has been, that passport agency has been challenging. We've had to have people go to another place for that, but for the most part, we've got clients in New York State, and it's not going to be difficult. We'll have you well prepared to deal with the post office. It's going to be all right. And if one post office doesn't work, you can always go to another one. But it shouldn't be a problem. It should be, like we say, a non-event. But anyway, thank you all for being on tonight, and we appreciate you. And we'll see you around. And then go to destinationfreedom.org. If you have questions, you can reach out to State Citizen at destinationfreedom.org, and we'll see if we can hook you up or answer some questions for you. Okay. All right. Love you a lot. We'll see you next time. Take care and God bless. How do I complete the IRS since I have that?